What's going on, everybody? Spuddy's back with another set of picks for Spuddy's Quick Picks for the NFL season 2022. So, week one happened and a lot of craziness happened. A lot. When it comes to the picks that I dropped, didn't do too hot. 7-9 all down the board when it came to picks, cover, spreads, and over and unders. Hopefully this time around everything goes back to normal of who everyone thinks should win. So let's get this shit started. Thursday night game. We got the Chargers and the Chiefs. Both teams coming off a big dub, especially the Chiefs. Everyone thought the Chiefs were kind of going to go down a little bit when it comes to the AFC West, since they didn't really make the biggest improvements with the AFC West teams. But hey, they destroyed the Cardinals, and Mahomes says, hey, I don't need Tyreek. I still got Kelsey. I got some new additions on the receiving core. I can still throw 5 touchdowns. And that's what he did. He schooled the Cardinals, got that dub. And now they're playing against the Chargers at home. Chargers had a nice home field stand against the Raiders. With all the new pieces with the Chargers right now, this defense looking good. Defense is really looking good. Now, I expected a little bit more from the offense, but maybe they're just starting off slow like last year, which ain't a bad thing because it only took them like 3 weeks to really get going. So, yeah. But, excuse me, guys. Just yawning. But for this week, Thursday, they are going to be playing without Keenan Allen. But at the same time, I feel like the Chargers have the better overall game compared to the Chiefs. I think a close one's going to happen. Very close game going out to Arrowhead Stadium. I like the Chargers though. Chargers, I think, will slug it out with the Chiefs, being a close game, but overall prevail just because I like Chargers defense really being the X factor in this game. The spread is giving Chargers 4 points, so they're covering. Over under 54.5 points. I think they're going over. I think we're getting a shootout, ladies and gentlemen. Damn, the yawn's been getting me. Even though it's a short week, I think a high-scoring game. So, Chiefs. Up next on the Sunday slate, we got the New York Jets versus the Cleveland Browns. New York Jets, still in a rebuilding process. They went up against the Ravens. Really didn't do too much. They stopped Ravens in the first half, but that's as far as they went on defense. Got some nice talent there. Just needs to put it all together when it comes to Jets defense. As for their offense, not much to really brag about right now. Maybe against the more level-based teams with them, that they'll be able to light up the scoreboard. But against those challenging defenses, they won't be able to do much. Much like this Browns team. I think the Browns defense will handle the Jets pretty decisively. And the Browns offense, despite Jacoby Brissett filling in for Deshaun Watson, I feel like they have enough in the tank to really put some scores on the board. It's not going to be a close game. You know what? No, it's going to be a close game. I feel like it's going to be a close game. because Browns had a close game with the Panthers, and I feel like the Jets have enough fight in them to keep it close. I like the Browns. They're giving the Jets 6 points. We're going to take that so the Browns aren't covering. 40 points overall. Over under, we are going over. I think we're going to start seeing a little bit more overs this week compared to last week's. So, yeah, Browns win. Up next, we got the Washington Commanders versus Detroit Lions. The Washington Commanders had a tough game against the Jaguars. Were there explosive plays for the Commanders? Yes, but overall, didn't play a good game, I felt, especially against the Jaguars. Maybe the Jaguars have a little bit more fight nowadays without Urban Myers, or maybe the Washington Commanders aren't that team. But they're going against the Detroit Lions. Detroit had a very tough matchup against the Eagles. They kept it close to the end, but I think Eagles were up by like 2 scores. So, yeah. But I still like the Lions as a team as a whole. I think by week 4, they'll really get together and turn some heads. But in this matchup here, I actually like the Lions a lot. I still think they got a good amount of weapons on offense. I mean, they're inconsistent, but that's all right with the weapons that they do have on offense, because they have Amon-Ra Brown, DeAndre Swift, T.J. Hawkinson. Yeah, a good amount of pieces. Just the protection for Jared Goff, because he needs it to make the plays. And I know Detroit could score, definitely. But against this Washington Commander team led by Carson Wentz, they're just as inconsistent as well. But I just feel like the Lions have a better future compared to the Commanders. There's a little bit more motivation with the Lions than the Commanders this year. So I like the Lions. What is the spread? They're giving the Commanders 2.5 points. I think the Lions will cover their 2.5 point spread. Over under is going to be 49. I think we're going over that one. So I like Lions. Up next, we got a division rivalry again. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New Orleans Saints. Buccaneers beat my boys badly, but the score said otherwise, because it was a pretty low scoring game for Tampa Bay. Only 19 points they were able to score. As for New Orleans, they did start off real slow in the first half. Who the hell did they play? I already forgot who they played already. Oh, the Falcons. Well, that was a division game, but I thought the Saints should have handled them very well. But, hey, division games, which we got another one. But Saints, for some reason, been having Buccaneers numbers for years now, and it stays like that. So I'm taking the Saints on this one, because I think that trend still continues despite new head coach. I just think this defense is always ready for a Buccaneers matchup, and I think Jameis Winston's going to have a big night. The spread for this one, they're giving the Saints 3 points, so they're the underdogs. So we're covering that one. 44 points over or under. Oh, we're going over that one. Definitely going over that one. But Saints winning. Up next, we got the Panthers and the Giants. Panthers had a good fight against the Browns, but Bake couldn't get his revenge game. Offense shows flashes of being very explosive at times, but we'll see how that goes towards as the season goes on. I'm not too sure about the Panthers offense. Defense, they're inconsistent. They're pretty average, I feel like, when it comes to defense. Nothing to really brag about right now. At times, I feel like they're about to start trending up, but they just end up being average, at least Carolina defense. As for the Giants, they surprised a lot of people by beating the Titans, preventing Derrick Henry from running 100 yards. Saquon had a game. He's looking like he hasn't missed a beat since before he started getting injured. At 164 yards. Saquon looking nice. Hopefully he keeps the progress going for this team. It was a tough win for the Giants, though, overall. When it came to the Titans, they beat them by, 2 points? Because the 2-point conversion. So still a very close game, and Giants still need a lot of work, but their defense still, I think New York has a solid defense. With that being said, I'm liking the Giants in this matchup. Their favorites, 2.5 points going to the Panthers. I think the Giants will cover it. 43 points altogether. What's the over and under? I think we're going over that, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, Giants win. Up next, we got the Patriots versus Steelers. Patriots went up Dolphins. They really couldn't do much and took an L. I think Mac Jones is going to suffer a sophomore slump this year, so get ready for that. There's going to be a lot of pressure on the running back, so Damian Harris and Stevenson, get ready for touches there. I don't think this Patriots team, I think as the last 2 years, even though Patriots had a pretty decent record last year, I think we're going to see some regression when it comes to the Patriots now. I don't know. They're losing players and they're not able to keep as many players as they used to. Now that Tom Brady left, it's going to continue to decline, I feel, for the Patriots. They had their run, and now it's time for them to fully rebuild, I feel. As for the Steelers, hard-fought win in Bengals land. They caused 5 turnovers. They're plus 5 on the turnover ratio, yet they had to go to overtime. And by the last few minutes, win by a field goal. Positives. Defense looked really nice, yet they are probably losing TJ Watt for, I want to say, a few weeks. He has a torn pec, but apparently he's not having surgery on it, so who knows how long he's going to be out. But, yeah, blow for the defense. As for the offense, almost had a scare with Najee Harris, almost injuring himself, but he said he'll be good by the game. But Mitch Trubisky is quarterback, so hopefully he can settle in the next few weeks, or Steelers would be in trouble. But for this matchup here, I actually like Steelers. They're the underdogs with 1.5 points. Steelers are obviously going to cover it if I'm picking them to win. Over-under is 40.5 points. I like the under for this one. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring affair in this football matchup. I like the Steelers. Again, I would like to apologize. I'm yawning. I'm sniffling. Hey, maybe I got a one-day sickness. I don't know, but I'm gonna keep on pushing through my picks for this week's, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. Next matchup, we got the Colts versus the Jaguars. Colts really disappointed us this week because they tied with the Texans when we felt like Colts should have been winning by like at least 2 touchdowns. But that didn't happen. bright and early, we got our first ties in the first week of the season. We almost had 2 ties, but we only had one this weekend. But Jonathan Taylor still producing. The biggest shakiness would probably be Matt Ryan. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt right now and say, hey, that was your first game. Next 2 games, show us something. Or this was a mistake for Matt Ryan to be on the Colts. So Michael Pittman had a great game, though. So there's that. Defense is still pretty solid. Can't complain. I feel like they'll get better as the weeks go on. They're going against a Jaguars team that is looking to prove something, saying we're better than Urban Meyer's led team. So we'll see as the week goes on. But as for the Jags, I'm not seeing much out of them. Christian Kirk had a play like a number 1 receiver. Last week he did put up some yards, so let's get some yards and touchdowns this time around. So, yeah. Other than that, it's really just a few players that are really keeping the Jaguars afloat. But as a whole, not looking good. So, with that being said, I like the Colts. They're going to cover a 4-point spread. 47 points on the over-under. We're taking the under. Colts are going to score a lot more points than the Jags, plain and simple. So, that's why we're going the under. Colts going to win. Up next, we got the Dolphins versus the Ravens. Yeah. Dolphins just decisively beat the Patriots. I'm not really judging the Dolphins' performance against the Patriots because I'm pretty sure Belichick had a game plan to just slow down everyone. So I think the real test will be the next 2 weeks, see what this Dolphins team could really do on offense. So I'm excited to see that. As for the Ravens, started off slow in the first half, but picked it up together in the second. Lamar Jackson playing for his contract, really trying to get that fully guaranteed deal. And as of right now, he's earned it. He's definitely earned it. Had some nice passing in against the Jets. Made some bombs, easy throws. He looked poised, He looked real poised. With that being said, when it comes to the Dolphins or the Ravens, I like Ravens this one. Both teams have really good Ds. I think the Ravens defense is a little bit better and would be able to control the Dolphins' own offense. Sorry about that. We still haven't seen the Dolphins' offense, so I feel like we have to wait another week before we see the full potential of that one. So I like the Ravens. Ravens will cover a 3.5 point spread. 44.5 points is the over-under. We're taking over on this one, but Ravens winning. Up next, we got the Atlanta Falcons versus the Los Angeles Rams. Both teams took a L. Different perspectives. Rams took a L against a very formidable opponent, possible Super Bowl contender at the first game of the NFL season. They played a really good first half. Defense did, and it kind of fell apart in the second half. So, yeah, I think Rams defense is, I'm not saying crumbling, but there's a little bit more weaknesses in the defense as of lately. Yeah, that doesn't mean Aaron Donald's not going to play lights out because he usually does. But I feel like there's a little bit more factors, I guess you could say, some weaknesses into this defense than what we think. Because, hey, one player can't make all the plays on defense. They really can't. So it's a collective effort. So that's what I felt like kind of blew it. But then again, offense really couldn't score that much points. Maybe it's because Matthew Stafford had an injury, so he wasn't able to play as much, or I don't know. But I think the reset happens here. This is really Rams' first game of the season, fully ready game, I would say. They're playing against a rebuilding Atlanta team. Atlanta had a good fight against the Saints. Mariota made some plays, protect the football as much as he could, but just couldn't get the dub. This game is going to be no different. I feel like the Rams are going to win, but they're not going to cover a 10.5 point spread. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than that. So, that 10.5 point spread not getting covered by the Rams. 47 points over and under. I think we're going over. I think this Falcons team has a little bit of tricks in their sleeves when it comes to the offense, and they can still score, even on a elite defense as the Rams have been. I still think they could sneak in some scores and try to shock the world. But I like the Rams in this one. Up next, we got. I don't know if the allergies just kind of hit me all of a sudden, but I'm sniffling a lot. So, again, I apologize. We got another division game. Seahawks versus the 49ers. One team is leading the NFC North. The other one took a hot L in Chicago. You guessed it. Seahawks are number one in the NFC West right now. Not North, sorry. They beat the Broncos on Monday night. Geno Smith led that team to victory, and they kept the lead. They really kept the lead. So everyone did their job as a Seahawk. No one expected them to win, and they won. So kudos to them. And maybe this adds a little bit more fuel to the fire of the Seahawks from here on out, saying we could do anything. As for the 49ers, I feel like they got put in an unfortunate situation. A monsoon of a football game. Very ugly game in Chicago. So I'm not going to really count the Niners L too harshly because of the monsoon that hit Chicago. So I'm just going to pretend this is their first game. With that being said, I like the Niners in this one. They're giving Niners 10 points. I don't think it's going to be covered. I feel like this is going to be a close game. They usually are, so I like Niners in this one. Not covering the spread, though. But 42.5 point over and under. We are going, I think, under. I think we'll go under in this one. It's going to be lower than what everyone expects. So, yeah. I like the Niners. Shit. Up next, we got the Bengals and the Cowboys. Gosh. Both these teams took hot L's for two different reasons. Cowboys just got smacked from the beginning. Really, honestly, the first quarter was very, okay, I see what they're doing. Then after the first quarter, it was starting to get done because we lost linemen. We lost another lineman. We just couldn't get nothing done. People were dropping balls. Throws weren't made. It was looking ugly. Defense could only do so much, I would say. Defense could only do so much. And for the Bengals, they caused 5 turnovers. But they were still in the game for somehow, some way, and they kept it to it until things were passed. Once, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh shit. Bengals were able to keep themselves in the game until they couldn't. So, yeah. Honestly, I really did lose my train of thought. Maybe I am getting sick. I don't know. But, Yeah, or maybe I'm just really tired right now. Anywho, I apologize for this week of the quick pits. So, yeah. Well, we got this matchup right now with the Bengals and the Cowboys. I like the Bengals in this one. Yeah, I'm going against my own team on this. It's just, it's not going to be looking good for a while for the Cowboys. So, yeah. Bengals going to win this one. 7.5 point spread. I think the Bengals will cover it. I think this is basically Bengals' revenge game to say, hey, we're actually on track. And Dallas, I don't know what's going to happen with the offense, so it's best to kind of put low expectations. So, yeah. Bengals are covering their point spread of 7.5 points. 43 points is the over-under. I think it's going to be under. Bengals win. Up next, we got the... Let's see my notes. We got the Houston Texans versus Denver Broncos. One team had tied. The other lost against the Seahawks. Houston. I'm not really thinking much about Houston right now. I'm surprised they even tied with the Colts, but hey, they did it. They have some fight in them. Defensively, I feel like they could cause some problems. Offense, that's where the big question mark lies. I don't really know too much about the Houston offense other than Brandon Cook is their main guy. And Pierce will be their number one back very, very soon. Other than that, that's really all I know about the Texans. It's just more of a lack of confidence with the Texans right now that they're going to be able to disrupt. I feel like they're going to be a bottom barrel team, so low expectations. As for the Denver Broncos, we've had high expectations for the Denver Broncos, but they fell flat against the Seahawks, which I thought was going to be a bottom-of-the-barrel team. I still kind of fall behind that, but hey, they're going to hit some momentum right now because of that win against the Broncos. Because the Broncos, I felt like, had a really young but talented defense. And when it came to their offense, they have Russell Wilson. What more can you say? But, people couldn't catch the ball. Some fumbles at the goal line prevented them from actually scoring. So, those are the games you play when it comes to football, ladies and gentlemen. And the Broncos lost those moments, which ultimately cost them the game. But I feel like a bounce back is going to happen here for the Broncos. They will beat the Texans. Then the over and under, the spread is 10 points. I think the Broncos cover that. 46 points is the over and under. We're going under that. Broncos win. Up next, we got the Raiders versus the Cardinals. Both teams took hot L's. Both teams lacked a lot in the respective matchups of the previous week. Raiders, Carr didn't look too hot playing throughout the whole game, so that was very concerning. But other than that, they were able to keep the Chargers from really scoring on them. I know they scored 24, but hey, with someone like Justin Herbert at the helm of quarterback, it could have been a lot worse. So, good for the Raiders defense from preventing some big scoring or letting the game get away from them. As for the Cardinals, they kind of took a big dud too. We were expecting high-powered offense, especially after a big contract was presented to Kyler Murray. We didn't get that. I feel like we got kind of disappointed with the offensive output from the Cardinals. We didn't see a shootout against the Chiefs, so joke's on us. As their defense, it's going to be pretty average. I would say they'll show some flashes of dominance, but at the same time, they might allow a lot of points as well too. So we'll see what happens with this Cardinal defense as well, since they lost Chandler Jones. But in this matchup, I got the Raiders winning. They'll cover a 6-point spread. Over under is 51.5 points. I like the under. I think the Cardinals are going to be sloppy for a few weeks. It's just a hunch. Raiders winning. Up next, we got the Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears. Packers just love playing really, really sluggish in the first few weeks of the season. I don't know if that's becoming a trend now, but hey, this is 2 years in a row that I noticed that they got smacked the opening game. But I think they'll bounce back because Aaron Rodgers could do those type of things. Green Bay defense pretty solid. I expect them to keep on being solid throughout the whole season. As for the Bears, they played a monsoon game against the Niners and were able to get the dub there. So I really don't have a true assessment on the Bears right now, other than they're going to be playing against a revenge-seeking Aaron Rodgers. That being said, I do like the Green Bay Packers over the the Bears. Bears still have to prove a lot, and I haven't seen enough for them to change my mind. Packers, they're giving Packers 10 points. Oh, not giving Packers 10 points. It's just spread is 10. They're not going to cover it. I think it'll eventually become a close game. I think the whole game it's going to be far apart, but then as the nitty-gritty starts happening, that's when they start closing the score. They ain't going to win, though. But, hey, keep the score close. Ooh. Over under is 42.5 points. We're going over that, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, we got 2 Monday night games this week. First, a rematch from last Monday night. Tennessee versus the Bills. Very high-scoring affair. It went back and forth, and Titans prevailed on that one. So I think Bills are going to come back with a revenge. Titans coming off a hot loss against the Giants. No one expected that. So this Titan team is going to be coming prepared against this Bills team. But this Bills team really showed out against the Rams in the first game of the season. So it's not going to be easy said as done for this Titans team to try to repeat the success of last season. So with that being said, I like the Bills this one. I think they're just a more dominant team. Spread is 10 points. Will they cover? Will the Bills covered? I'm going to say no. I feel like it's going to be something like coming down to a field goal again, kind of like how last year was. Over under is going to be 49.5 points. We're going over just because of how last game went. It went back and forth for a while. Points were in the 50s, 60s. So, yeah, definitely going to be over that 49.5. Then finally, we got the last game. Minnesota Vikings versus the Eagles. Both teams coming off hot wins. Vikings just smacked the Packers throughout the whole game. Defense was able to create some turnovers, but the main story was that offense with new head coach Kevin O'Connell. Yeah, you definitely see a little bit of the Rams offense in those plays, but now you got Justin Jefferson. It's something else. Definitely something else. As for the Eagles, hard-fought win against the Lions. Nothing to discredit them. I think the Lions are going to be a very underrated team that is always going to constantly be fighting. So if you slack up, Lions will steal wins from you. So Eagles had a really tough game against the Lions, but Jalen Hurts connected with A.J. Brown, begin that connection during the regular season. Miles Sanders had some pretty good runs. Got got a lot of other people in the running back situation involved, and Jalen Hurts played a pretty decent but effective game, I felt. So, yeah, the Eagles looking good. But in this matchup, I don't know who I'm going for. I feel like the Vikings are going to be a little bit more consistent than the Eagles, I feel. So I think they're going to win. Vikings are the underdog, so 2 points are going to be covered because they're given to them. And for the over-under, it's 50.5 points. We are going over. I'm thinking shootout for this one, so it's going to be nice. That should do it for my picks. Just a recap of week 1 results. All my categories were 7 and 9. Picks, covers, and over and unders. So hopefully I'm going to be doing good here. Again, like to apologize. I was a little tired. I zoned out around the time I was picking the Bengals and Cowboys winner. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I am feeling under the weather. I've been sneezing a lot. And, yeah, my temperatures keep on going up and down. So who knows what happens. But other than that, those are my picks, ladies and gentlemen. Those are my quick picks for week 2. So go check out our week 1 review. Definitely go check that out. See what we think about all of week 1. When this video drops, the Dookie list should be dropping around the same time. Go check out the first Dookie list of the new year. Should be exciting. A lot of names, a lot of teams should be on there. So keep out a lookout for the Dookie list. Also, Francis's waiver wire pickups injury report should be coming up around the same time too. So go ahead and check that out. Obviously, I'm always going to come out with the quick picks every week, so stay tuned to that. And we got a DraftKings lineup coming up on Thursday night, I feel, so stay tuned to that. Other than that, I'm going to try to get better. Hopefully, it's just a one-day thing, but I am your host, Spuddy McGee. I'm here with Buds and Sports. You know where to find us. All you got to put us in is the search bar on any of your podcast needs, and we should be there. So go ahead and check us out. This is Buds and Sports, and I am out.